Anyone who's had a urinary tract infection knows how unbearable the pain can be. But while most clear up within a few days, for some women, including our next guest, the agony can persist for years.
Lisa Gray endured 3 decades of excruciating pain and debilitating symptoms from recurring infections before reaching out to UTI specialist Dr. Kat Anderson, who was finally able to help. And it's great to have them both with us here this morning. Morning to both of you.
Good morning.
So Lisa, let's go back to when you first started getting the symptoms. Just how debilitating were they and how long would it go on for?
So for me, it all started in my 20s. I just had a whole run of really bad infections where I ended up weeing blood, and the agony was sort of indescribable because you think it's just about a twinge, but actually it was like sitting on a hot poker with weeing razor blades. So they carried on for a few years and then settled down into a pattern of maybe about 1 or 2 a year, and that carried on for the next 20 years.
20 years. And was there specific things that would trigger those infections coming on?
I think it's different for every woman. I think often it can be around stress, dehydration, sex can not often be a factor. So they were the things for me. I think over the last 20 years, it always happened at the most inconvenient times.
Right.
I was always away or it was out of hours. So, one awful time was I was on a camping holiday and I felt a bit of a twinge. I ended up going to the nearest A&E. But for me, they were always so acute in how they came on. So within an hour, if I hadn't taken an antibiotic, I knew that I would be sort of unable to function with a fever, within an hour. And so that time I ended up in A&E. By the time they gave me the antibiotics, I was on an intravenous IV drip with antibiotics and a relaxant because I was in such a state. So it was always just trying to get access to the treatment as quickly as I could. Yeah. That was always tricky.
And it always happens so quickly as well. You don't have much time to kind of react to it.
No, absolutely. I went for a walk once. I was about an hour away from home, and by the time I got a twinge an hour in, I only just about managed to get back to the house. And I had by then some emergency antibiotics, and I started travelling with those.
Yes.
Because I ended up in Sri Lanka on my honeymoon in a tea plantation, which was beautiful. But at altitude, my antibiotics just weren't kicking in, and I ended up with a real fever, hallucinations. Just wasn't sure that the treatment was kicking in, which was so scary when you're in a place where you don't know the healthcare system.
You must have felt so lost as well because you've been dealing with it for so long, knowing that it was always going to be a problem and not actually being able to sort it out.
Absolutely. I was just getting so desperate.
Yeah.
And then I reached my 40s and it got even worse. And I was getting infections maybe once every month, in desperation, Googling sleepless nights in agony, trying to work out what was happening to me and how to stop them. And that's when I found a bladder charity called Bladder Health UK. They sent me a list of specialists. I found a couple of online support groups. So I knew I wasn't alone in this struggle. And then I saw Dr. Anderson, the amazing Dr. Anderson. And she put me on a longer course of antibiotics, a bladder antiseptic drug called Hiprex, methanamine hippurate, which was a real game changer for me. Yeah. And also told me about the really important role of hormones. So as I was hitting my perimenopause, which I went into completely blind, that's when it started to really go bad because oestrogen is so important for bladder health. Yes. And I just hadn't realised. So added some local and systemic HRT into that treatment plan. And then gradually over the last, say, 5 or 6 years, I haven't had an infection now for 4 years, which is the longest I think I've ever gone. So I feel like I'm on a road to recovery, but not totally cured because you always still live with that awful lingering fear and anxiety that one is going to come and grab you when you least want it.
Yeah, but thank goodness you found Dr. Anderson.
Absolutely.
Because I think that one of the things that women really need is to feel heard and for people to understand just how debilitating this is.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that Lisa has had a terrible time in the past with her UTIs, but it's quite surprising when you hear that I actually see people who come in an even worse situation than she is in. I've had patients that are so desperate with this, breast cancer survivors who say that if they had had this before the breast cancer, they would have declined treatment because there would have been a way out. I've had a patient who developed this after developing breast cancer, and we'd pulled her out of the worst of it, and she checked with her breast surgeon whether going through the treatment would actually make her symptoms come back again, her UTI, her persistently recurrent chronic UTI symptoms come back. And she said because she wanted to decline treatment for the breast cancer if it did, because at least there'd be a way out.
Goodness me.
That's pretty compelling, isn't it?
For sure.
Yeah. So it's really important that, you know, we give this disease the importance that, you know, it
But Dr. Cat, why have we got to this point where there are women like Lisa dealing with it? My wife has the same antibiotic that you do now, and it's been a game changer for her, because as soon as she senses there's a twinge, or she'll take one of the tablets and it goes away. And I've been with her when it's been really debilitating. We're in a lovely spot or whatever, and suddenly she can't leave the room, or she can't get out of bed. How has that happened? How have we got there?
So unfortunately, we're in a situation whereby up to 50% of the tests to detect the bacteria come up negative, even when there is genuine infection there. And that's in the flash in the pan, once in a while UTIs, not the recurrent UTIs. We know the figures are much worse for the people with recurrent UTI, and it's on a continuum. It's even worse than that with chronic UTI. And chronic UTI isn't actually yet a medical definition, but we know it exists, and it actually even is, we're able to diagnose it. It's on the computer in our surgeries. So we really aren't giving it the importance that it needs in terms of testing. The dipstick tests that GPs and nurses use in primary care and in hospitals, they will show negative up to half the time as well, even when there is genuine infection there. And this is backed by our recent revision on guidelines just a year or so ago, where we should all be, as doctors and nurses, when a patient comes in and they have two key features of UTI, we should be saying, right, OK, this is enough to start treatment for them, and not be relying on dipsticks and not be relying on these tests. And when we look further into the tests, as we were discussing earlier, Kat, the tests rely on a threshold that was set on a study that was done 70 years ago on 88 pregnant women with kidney infections, not bladder infections.
Just doesn't make any sense
So in
at
this
all.
day and age of fantastic medical evidence, that's not good enough.
But there is good news, though. There's looking as though the drug that Lisa takes is going to be more widely available.
So I can't actually talk about this yet because of conflict of interest, because of some work that I'm doing on committees nationally. But watch this space. Watch this space.
But from your perspective, Lisa, like you said, your personal anecdotal experience is that has been a game changer for you, and it should be available for more women who desperately need it.
Absolutely, because you go to the doctors, but often antibiotics will be the first course of treatment, but it's only a very short course and it's just not enough. And one of the things that I learned was my infection had probably actually always been the same infection that hadn't been cleared in my 20s, that then persisted and then keeps recurring. So it's just trying to knock that back. And although I was on the longer course of antibiotics, it was the Hiprex longer term, which has just over time made me feel like things were improving to the extent I wasn't always in fear of getting another one.
So, Dr. Cat, what does Hiprex do then? Can you explain how
I know it's complicated.
I know it is, but can you explain how it works from a medical?
It's a urinary antiseptic, basically.
Okay.
It's not an antibiotic, so there isn't problems with antibiotic resistance issues, etc. But for these ladies that keep getting the infections, or the infections just never go away, there's some very good evidence that came out of the USA over the last few years that shows that rather than being new infections all the time, there's a distinct possibility that a great proportion of these cases, it's an embedded infection actually within the bladder lining. So the bugs have hunkered down inside the cells and they are just waiting till the coast is clear to come back out and set up a new round of attack on the bladder lining.
Pounce.
And so what we need to do is we need to put something in to stop them doing that. Or if they do leak out and they want to get going again, put in something that's going to kill them straight away. And so a low-dose antibiotic all the time can do that. or maybe something like an antiseptic can do that.
Which
So this
clearly
is where they're the game changers.
Amazing.
Look,
I think it works over time as well, just to...
and that's the thing. So you're 4 years since you had your
brilliant.
last one. You haven't quite relinquished that fear of another one coming on, but clearly things are significantly better than they were, Lisa.
Absolutely, and I do feel like I'm one of the lucky ones because I was able to access, treatment that worked for me, the testing that showed a clear bacteria. Not all women are in that position, so we do need better testing, better treatments.
OK, Dr. Cat, will you do us a favour? In a couple of weeks' time, will you come back again?
When you
can
can.
talk a little bit more, and also, will you come and do a phone-in for us, for our viewers?
I would
as well?
love to. I would absolutely love
I
to
just
do
love
that.
the no-nonsense
Yeah.
approach, and let's get it
I think,
sorted.
and also personal experience with Annie and anecdotally Lisa as well. There will be lots of our viewers this morning that would absolutely massively value your expertise as well.
Oh,
if you could do
no
that.
problem. That would be great.
Amazing.
We need better diagnostics and better treatment plans for these patients. And I promise you, in the background, working really hard on all of that, myself and a few esteemed colleagues, and we're running with this in the same way that we've been running with menopause. I know how much you guys have done for that. We're now running with these UTI issues.
Brilliant.
Excellent.
Thank you both for coming in, Lisa. Thank you for being
you.
so honest and continued positivity regarding not having another
great.
UTI. Dr. Cat, we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Oh, hello. See you soon.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning. As the Tory party conference kicks off this week, one issue that will be on the agenda is Britain's unemployment crisis.
It comes after Sir Keir Starmer argued that people claiming long-term sickness benefits should be expected to work.
It's a subject that brings us to our next guest, Marie Buchan, who has been accused of using taxpayers' money to splash out on pricey cosmetic surgery and even her own horse.
But after spending most of her adult life living off the state, the mum of 8 is joining us to explain why she's ready to leave the benefit system behind and get a job. Good morning, Marie.
Good morning.
Morning, Marie.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm OK, thank you.
Good. So you first started claiming benefits, I think, when you were 19, is that right?
Yep.
And why did you start?
Because I had my first child.
Right, OK.
And through the years, it does get a lot easier to claim. Child after child after child, it's just claim, go back into work, come back out of work, go back into work.
OK,
They make it very easy, they do.
So how many children do you have?
8.
Right, and how many still live at home and how many are little?
They all still live with me.
Okay.
They all still live with me.
And you're still claiming benefit for the ones that are under 18?
Child benefit, because currently I've gone through the change to universal credit.
Right.
So it's 5 weeks and £74 at the moment
OK.
for the switch over.
Marie, when you said they make it very easy, that sounded like it's almost too easy to say no to, that the incentive for you to get out and get a job isn't there necessarily because actually getting your child benefit is so much easier for you and makes sense.
The support's not there, though. I mean,
get the work.
To get the work, I've contacted the job centre on like several occasions asking for help with my CV, getting to training. I did 6 courses at college, 6 courses, car mechanics and health and social. Got nowhere with that. They're not willing to help.
And who's not willing to help?
The job centre.
The job centre?
Yeah.
OK.
Yeah.
So, there's been, over the years, you've had a lot of negative press for some of the things that you've used your child benefit for. Now, I don't think anybody would question the importance of having child benefit to look after children, to be able to provide for them and to be a parent. However, sometimes you've used some of that money for very personal things like cosmetic surgery, haven't you? You got a lot of criticism because I think you had a breast operation, augmentation, and you used some of your benefit on that.
I was working as a carer then.
Right.
So I was saving.
So you had some money that was from your wage, but also some child benefit was used on that, right?
Only
right?
a small amount, not a lot.
But some of your child benefit,
which
or
is
the
not
benefits, no, exactly.
Yeah.
So do you understand then why people are a little bit up in arms about
without
it?
a doubt, yeah, without a doubt.
And what would you say to those people?
That I'm willing to give something back now. I've raised my children, so it's my time to go back into work.
And why is now the time?
Kids are all older now.
Right.
Kids are all older.
But
and I want to give them something as well.
Right.
It's not an inspiration, really, is it? If the mum's just claiming benefits, I want to show them the right way.
And have you ever worked in between having your children? Because you had 8 over the space of how long?
pregnant every year.
Right, okay. And have you ever gone back to work? And why
Yeah.
did you decide? Yeah.
I was a care worker.
Right.
I worked in school kitchen. I worked as a cleaner. So I've done many jobs. I have done many jobs, on and off benefits.
And why did they not work? Why did you not stay the distance
I
in
just
those
wanted to
jobs?
be at home with the kids.
Why? Because you found it too difficult to get childcare, or
Yeah,
what
that was
the-
a big issue because I was also in college as well.
Right.
I was also in college and working.
So you're trying to juggle a very busy
Yeah.
life. I mean, you've got
Yeah.
8 kids. That's a very busy life, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when you look back, though, Marie, and you look back at some of the things, because I think you've been quite open and self-critical about yourself and spending the money. You got yourself a horse at one point. I mean, when people see the benefit system and you being able to milk it in a way whereby you can take some of that benefit and get an animal, as wonderful as horses are, if you can afford to keep a horse, then absolutely fine. But if you're using benefits to get a horse,
Yeah.
that seems like an extreme use of that benefit money in the
Yeah.
wrong way. Why did you do that?
I don't know.
Just 'cause
we
you
all
could?
make big mistakes. I've made many mistakes. I have. And I
Yeah.
do regret it. I do regret it. He's gone now.
Yeah.
He's gone now. I should have bought a cat.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, not a horse.
But when you hear Keir Starmer saying that what we've got to look at people on long-term benefits, we've got to look at trying to get them back into the workforce. What's your take on what he's trying to make happen now?
I agree with him because you should have that short-term help and then get back into the environment of work. But if the help is not there to get you back, where do you start?
Right.
If you're having conversations with the job centre or income support or ESA regarding training and work, they just literally say, stay home, come back next week, or we'll book you an appointment, but it never happens.
And do you
There's no help.
think if that help was there and that support was there, you could make a success out of going back to work?
Definitely, yeah. Yeah. Even just to build a CV up, that's all I'm asking for.
Right.
But they're saying I do not need to attend the job centre.
Right. And what do you think you will find difficult about going back to work?
Back into the whole environment, I suppose. And juggling everything, because everything's stopped now, housing benefit, council tax, everything has stopped during the switchover.
Right. And you feel as though you've had quite a negative reaction from other people within your community. Like if you go to the supermarket or something like that, you're quite upset about how certain things have been reported.
Yeah.
What are you upset about what's been reported, and how did it feel when you went to the supermarket?
I think it's because I've been labelled the face of benefits now.
Right.
And it's not good. That's not good. And I want that to be taken away. I do feel like saying no more press, no more TV, no more radio, because they do destroy your life.
But
I
you wanted
do.
to come here today to talk about that.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's sort of a dichotomy there, isn't there?
There is.
Because on the
There
one
is.
hand, you're saying, I need to get away from this. But on the other hand, you're here talking to us about
Yeah.
it. Your experience is tangible, of course, with regards to what the Prime Minister is trying to say as
Yeah.
well. Are you good? Are you disciplined in the mornings? Are you a morning person? Is going back to work going to be easy for you?
It will, yeah, it will. It will.
So you are...
If I've got that help in hand, I will.
Right.
Yeah.
OK, so we got the Department of Work and Pensions have given us a right of reply, because it's interesting you're saying that there's just not the support there beyond the benefit itself. The last 14 years has seen millions of people denied their rightful chance of participating in the labour market and the hope of a brighter future. That is why we are taking bold action to support people into work through reforming job centres, giving local areas the power they need to tackle economic inactivity and transforming skills as we spread prosperity and opportunity across Britain. So it sounds like they want to try and transform the scenario within the job centre, which is the support that you're looking for, that next stage. Have you got an idea of what sort of career you would like?
I want to work in the hospitals, healthcare assistant, that's my aim.
Well, there's a huge
Yeah,
sort of
cry
lack
out for help.
of people in the NHS. That shouldn't be too hard to fill.
Yeah.
How many, have you applied for any jobs?
I've applied for a couple, yeah,
Yeah.
I have. And I've also had jobs request over social media, but I'm not going to go down that route because I don't know who they are.
Oh, so people contact you and say,
Contacting me
look,
for
Marie, why
work,
don't you
yeah.
come and work with us on
Yeah.
this? Could you do a little bit of investigation into who they are to understand whether
yeah.
it is genuine
Yeah,
or
I
not?
would do. But I think I'd prefer support from the job centre except myself.
So it's more official.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what would you say to other claimants that have perhaps done exactly the same as you have in the past? What would you say to those people?
It's a hard one because they tarnish you with the brush of you're lazy, you don't do anything, and all you do is just sit back and claim benefits. It's not like that. Nobody knows what's going on in the background. You're trying your hardest to get back on your feet, sort CV, sort job interviews, get on courses. I was doing first aid. I was doing college. Inspirational, but at the end of the day, it's got me nowhere because I'm still here.
Well, I mean, it's great that you've come in and you're holding your hands up and said you've made mistakes along the way and you want to try and get back into work and you're looking for some support to get there. And it'll be interesting to see what happens off the back of this, Mary. Hopefully, you can get that little bit of support to get you that opportunity because I think the NHS is crying out for support workers and stuff. So there should be an opportunity there. Just needs to be we need to get you in through the door and get started, I think, don't we?
Yeah, a step in the right direction.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.
You might have heard about the Brazilian butt lifts or the BBLs, which is a type of non-surgical treatment that uses liquid to enhance the size and the shape of your buttocks.
Yeah, so earlier this week, 2 people were arrested after the death of a British woman who recently underwent a non-surgical Brazilian butt lift. And whilst we don't know the details of her death at this stage, questions have been raised once again about the safety of this type of treatment.
In just a moment, we're going to be hearing from Bonnie Louise, who said she was left fearing for her life after getting a BBL.
First joined by 2 people, though, calling for these treatments to be banned. Ashton Collins, who is the director of Save Face, which is a national register for accredited practitioners, and cosmetic physician, Dr. Marna Bauer. Welcome to both of you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us.
Doctor, let's begin with you. Can you explain what's the difference between a surgical BBL and a liquid BBL?
Absolutely. So the surgical BBL is when, under a hospital setting, a consultant surgeon will take fat from somewhere else on the body, for example, the abdomen or the thighs, and then re-inject that fat into the buttocks to volumize and shape. Whereas when we're looking at the liquid BBL, that's taking a dermal filler, so a hyaluronic acid filler, what we use for the face, the lips, for example, and inject large quantities into the buttocks to, again, create that volumization and contour.
We know a lot of people who do fillers in their faces. What is the difference and why is it so unsafe to do fillers in the buttocks?
So there's lots of reasons why it's unsafe. And the first one is the anatomy of the buttock region. As we go a little bit deeper, there's lots of veins, blood vessels, and what can happen is the fat or the dermal filler can block those blood vessels, stopping the oxygen to the skin and the muscle. But also the fat or the filler can travel upstream and can go up to the heart, causing heart attacks, the brain strokes, pulmonary embolisms, and death, unfortunately.
And does that not happen if it's surgical?
So there is a risk with the surgical technique as well, and that's why BARPS, which is one of the plastic surgical societies, in 2018 called for it to be banned. They told their members not to do it anymore because there were a lot of deaths occurring.
Across the board?
Across the board. And that's changed in 2022. They're using a new technique, which is ultrasound guided. So highly specialised consultant surgeons are only recommended to do it now. Is it like the Wild
West out there at the moment? Because it seems like there's no regulations at all.
There's no regulations. It's something that we've been calling for a long time. It really is the Wild West. Anyone right now can pick up a syringe and inject patients, it's ludicrous. And we're seeing so many more problems and complications coming through.
So, Ashton, you've been calling for a ban on BBL since last year.
Yeah.
What is it about them that worries you?
It's the volume of complications, like Manav said, how dangerous these procedures are. And they're being advertised on social media as being risk-free, pain-free, cheaper alternatives to the dangerous surgical counterparts. And we've helped over 500 women. 50% of those women have ended up in hospital with sepsis. 39% of those women have needed corrective surgery, have been left unable to walk. Many of them have been told that they're close to death when they arrive at hospitals. And that's why we are warning the government that unless they take urgent action, then we'll have fatalities.
Ashton, why do you think so many women are doing this? Are we just not loving ourselves anymore? What is it?
I think this insurmountable pressure to conform to a certain beauty standard. And I think, bigger bums have been in fashion now for a long time, perpetuated by reality TV stars and on social media. And when you see these things advertised as being risk-free, you know, it takes an hour, you'll be in and out, it's cheaper alternatives, you can see why it's an appealing prospect for people. But all of those claims could not be further from the truth, and they are incredibly dangerous.
And there's no aftercare as well. That's a big, I would say that's a big risk as well, isn't it?
The lack of aftercare, and because in all of the cases that we've dealt with, they've been injected by non-healthcare professionals. So even when these ladies are presenting with really high risk, visible signs of sepsis and infection, they're being told it's just bruising, or they're being blocked completely and left to fend for themselves.
Would you like to see a ban of all of them, or liquid-based?
The liquid BBLs, yeah, because with, like Manav said, with the surgical ones, you know, they are regulated procedures in regulated environments.
There's a risk, but it's regulated.
Exactly,
Gotcha.
and that person will look after you if something went wrong.
So let's bring in Bonnie Louise, who had a terrifying experience after undergoing the Brazilian butt lift treatment. Bonnie Louise Cooper, thanks so much for joining us, Bonnie. So you had this last November, I think, but then things didn't go as planned. So tell us about your story and your experience.
Gosh. So I had my liquid BBL back in November, just gone, and to my horror, I got poorly very, very quickly.
OK, just before we even go into that, can you just tell us why you actually wanted to have it done? What do you think, what was you lacking, and what did you think that you needed from this?
So for me, the gym doesn't appeal to everybody. You might not get the desired results. It was a confidence boost for myself, and to my knowledge, it was a safe option.
But you was happy with the results at first. Was you happy with everything?
Yeah.
And then tell us when it started to go really badly wrong for you.
Gosh, I mean, it was immediate, really. As soon as I got home that same day, the pain was just horrendous. And the next day, I was rushed into hospital and paralysed from the waist down.
Oh, my goodness.
So, and was that sepsis, basically?
I did, yes. They advised me when I got to the hospital that I had sepsis.
So what was the complications of that? Could you sleep? Could you sit? Could you even walk? Tell us some of the things that you went through.
My gosh, I couldn't stand properly. I couldn't sit. I couldn't walk at all. It was horrendous. I was just paralysed, couldn't move.
Oh, my God, you poor thing. Where did you get this done, and how are you now?
So I had this done in the London area. I still have complications now. So if I lay on either side, my legs actually go numb, leading to my feet changing colour due to circulation issues and nerve damage.
Oh, my goodness, that's awful.
And Bonnie Louise, were you given assurances when you went in? I mean, how was it sold to you?
So I was completely under the illusion that it was completely safe, pain-free, minimal downtime. However, to my horror, the pain was horrendous, even having the procedure done.
It's awful. What would you say to anyone who's thinking about having one of these?
I would strongly urge anybody to completely stay away from the liquid BBL. It's very unregulated, very dangerous.
OK.
Thanks, Bonnie.
Thank you for joining.
Really
and I know you
sharing.
still get tingling in your legs now, don't you? You still get issues now, don't you?
Yeah, the pain is definitely ongoing.
Oh, poor thing. Well, listen, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate you opening up and telling your side of the story as well. Thank you, Bonnie Louise. Is this... do people have any legal recourse off the back of this?
Do you know what? Often, no. And people have often spent thousands of pounds on corrective treatment, corrective physiotherapy. And because it's not even a legal requirement to have insurance in the UK, often these people have no financial recourse.
Obviously, this isn't going to stop. People are still going to get these BBLs. I mean, what advice have you got for anybody who has any issues after they've had their operation?
Yeah, for anyone that's had any problems or even that's worried, I would definitely get in touch with Ashton at Safe Face. I think it's really important.
And is it a one-way ticket? Can you extract this as well, or once it's in, is it in?
It's very difficult, and the way that the product may have been placed, it may just spread, it may be in very hard locations to take out. So it's very difficult to correct once it's in.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, both of you, for joining us.
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning.
But we are starting with an incredible story, actually, this morning. Imagine being told that the only way you could walk again is to have your leg amputated and then have your foot sewn on backwards.
Yeah, unbelievable piece of surgery, and that's exactly what happened to our next guest when he was just 14 years old. Ibrahim Abdul Rauf started to experience leg pain, which he first thought was a football injury, but doctors later discovered he had a rapidly spreading bone cancer.
He then underwent the unique procedure of having his leg amputated and then his foot reattached to his knee backwards, which not only allowed him to walk again, but also actually saved his life.
And we're delighted to say Ibrahim joins us now to tell us more.
Hi, you're right.
So nice to meet you.
Oh,
Nice
thank
to
you
meet
for
you too.
joining
Thanks for
us.
having me.
Oh, pleasure.
So lovely to have you. Now, this is such a unique type of surgery. It's unbelievable, actually. But just take us back to the time when it all went wrong. What was happening? I know you were playing football, but what happened?
I was feeling completely fine. It was literally just one evening, like I had this sort of pain. It wasn't really that noticeable. I just thought I got kicked when I was playing football, like during a tackle.
So what sort of pain was it? Just a numb agony, a numb pain?
It was just like a dull ache,
dull
if like when you get punched and you just have like feel that you've just been punched.
So why would you think that was any different to like a normal, right? You just carry on.
So it was just like in the motion of like 1 second, just feeling that pain of getting like punched or like pushed, just that little sensation I had like during the evening, and there wasn't even any like overlapping pain. But when I went to sleep, and then I just woke up the next morning and I tried to put weight through my leg and I couldn't weight bear at all. So it literally from feeling fine and having no pain, it went from like the threshold being 0 to 10 out of 10 agony.
The next morning?
The next morning, yeah.
So you're only 14 when this happened, weren't you?
Yeah.
So what did your mum then do? You got in touch with the hospital or the doctor? Or
I bum shuffled down the stairs because I couldn't walk at all. And even I was dumbfounded. I thought, what's going on? Like, why is my leg not working for? And I was getting like really worried, and I went down, told my mum, and she thought that I'm just making up excuses to try to get the day off from school.
Really? Is that what she thought?
Yeah.
That's what we're mums, aren't we?
That's the reaction,
That's what we
of course.
And then I said, no, Mum, I'm not lying. Like, I'm being serious. It's like agonising pain to even put any weight through or pressure through my leg. And then she rushed me to the GP. They rushed me to the A&E. And then they done a X-ray, and it showed like a swollen bone over my bone. So it was like a little lump.
So there's a swelling on top of the bone?
Yeah, and then they said that it's a cyst or a boil or like just a cluster of fluid. And that they're going to do a biopsy to extract it, and it shouldn't be nothing to worry about. So
then they found the osteosarcoma.
The pain was getting worse and worse, and I was taking more doses of morphine to manage the pain. And then the pain wasn't getting better, and the lump was getting bigger and bigger. So the treatment of antibiotics that they gave me for bone infection wasn't doing anything. So they'd done a biopsy, they sent me to a different hospital, and then they'd done a biopsy.
You actually went to the Royal Orthopaedic Hospital in Birmingham, which I know really well, because my mum had her knees done there. So you went to there, and that's when they said it was actually a bone infection, didn't they?
Yeah. So then they extracted some bone from my leg and sent it to the labs, and the results came back quite quickly, and the doctor just came in. I was in A&E, I'd been in hospital for 6 weeks, and I was waiting for the results to come back, and I was just on antibiotics with that.
So you've been in the hospital 6 weeks? That's a long time, isn't it? And you were so young.
Yeah.
So, Abraham, you got cancer, you went through chemo, but then they decided that your leg needed to be amputated. Even at such a young age, what goes through your mind when you know that's going to happen?
I couldn't believe it. Like, I thought it was fake, and I was telling them to do the test again. I was just pretending like I wish I was dreaming. Like, I didn't want to be I didn't want to hear the sound of anyone's voice telling me that you need to go get treatment and you need to go here and you need to do this and you need to do that. And it went from like being absolutely fine without like a care in the world to living in a nightmare.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then just being in and out of hospital all of the time and having all of the symptoms from the chemotherapy was like unexplainable. Like I couldn't explain this like chemical torture, and it they flush you with like antibiotics for 2 weeks after giving the dosage to flush the chemo drugs out of the system, because it's literally a poison. If it stays in your system, you can actually die from having it in your system, because it obliterates like all cells. It's like TNT exploding in your body. And that's how the doctors explained it to me as well, because I'd have my chemotherapy and then I was supposed to be recovering at home for 2 weeks. But then the side effects would get so bad, I'd just end up hospitalised again. And I'd be on like platelets and blood transfusions and antibiotics and anti-sickness medications.
There is a happy ending to this story, and it's an unbelievable piece of surgery that these doctors have done. So can you explain what they did and how it's changed your life?
So I had the tumour in my knee, and my foot was healthy and the top part of my leg was healthy. It was just the middle part that needed to be removed.
Yeah.
So then they saved the residual limb and sewed it back onto the top of my thigh, but backwards. So they rotated it 180 degrees.
Why did they do that?
Because if it wasn't rotated, then my foot would be like facing my face.
Yeah.
Like it would be this way up. And when I moved my ankle, it like
It's so though, because once you've got your prosthetic on, it acts kind of like a knee, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's so clever.
So like I just can control my foot with my nerves. And like think that I've got a foot there which I didn't have before.
Yeah.
And when I first started to learn how to control it, I could barely like move it a flinch. It was like I had to focus on how to like get it to move.
Look at you now, look, we're just watching you having a little bookie.
Yeah.
And have you gone back to sport? Can you do sports now and stuff like that?
Yeah, I really like swimming, so...
Do you like swimming?
But I have to take my leg off, so I just swim with my arms. So.
And badminton as well, you doing badminton? Yeah.
And you're on social media. I love the fact that you're so positive about everything as well. It's unbelievable. What is it that drives you through?
Just being able to still be alive and have like the second chance to experience every day and still be able to be independent and not rely on anybody and still get out and about and live a normal life.
It's incredible.
Listen, you're an inspiration. Your surgeons, the medical team around you are an inspiration as well to be able to do what
So clever.
So
clever.
Thanks for joining us.
And thanks for telling your story.
Yeah,
thanks so much for being
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button and we'll see you in the morning.
For all of that, now there's been a reported rise in dangerous cyclists across the country in recent years.
So here in London at peak time, cyclists make up 40% of road traffic, which is great because people are getting on their bikes, they're not using buses and all that sort of stuff. So it's a really positive thing to see so many cyclists. However, there are issues because under the current laws, reckless or dangerous cyclists who have hurt or even killed someone still only face a small fine or minimal jail time.
Our next guests know firsthand the life-changing repercussions that an encounter with a dangerous cyclist can have. Kate Wilson and Samantha Latham are here now to share their story. Good morning, ladies.
Morning.
Morning.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
Pleasure.
So, can you take us back to March 2022? You were walking together.
That's correct. Yeah, we'd been out for something to eat and walking to get a taxi. It was about 9 o'clock in the evening. We were on the pavement, walking towards the taxi. And that's the last thing I remember. I was hit from behind by a cyclist on the pavement. Right. But Sam can probably fill you in on the rest, because...
Yeah, so we were actually walking on the pavement, linking arms. Kate was on the outside, I was on the inside. And the next thing we know, we'd both fallen, well, I'd fallen down to the floor and I never broke eye contact with Kate. Kate was lifted upright so far in front of me. It worked out to be about 10 or 12 feet, and just literally landed, and her head hit the floor really, really hard. I saw that happen. I ran over to Kate immediately, and she didn't move. She was unconscious, and blood was just pouring out of her head in a puddle. Obviously, I went hysterical. I turned around, screaming people for help. I turned around and saw the cyclist. He was also lying on the floor, and his bike was quite far away from him. So initially went to check if he was okay, realising what had happened. He just opened his eyes, and he was quite aggressive and intimidating. So in that moment, I was just in a sheer panic. A couple were walking past, and they came over to help. So, you know, we started calling ambulance, police.
Your fear, though, was that you thought Kate was dead.
Yeah.
I mean, you kept looking at her. I mean, it sounds like something from a movie when she's banged her head and there's a pool of blood that's growing. I can only imagine the terror you had.
I think that's what it reminded you of, something out of a movie. And because I could see the pool of blood moving and Kate unconscious, I didn't know what condition she was in. You know, I didn't know whether her face was okay or there.
Yeah.
It was just, it was the scariest situation I've ever been in.
And when I came to, I had no idea what had happened, but I thought I'd been hit by a car.
Yeah.
I sort of presumed in those sort of moments that I'd been hit by a car. But yeah, we essentially, the guy got back on the pavement, cycled off, you know, swore at Sam. And then obviously I went to hospital and got patched up, which, you know, my teeth were knocked out by my two front teeth, and my face was cut, my nose was bleeding, and my lip was all cut. And then my bone had popped out of my finger. Yeah, so, you know, the NHS have been absolutely brilliant. And I had 3 surgeries on my hand in the end, which resulted in an amputation of my finger and knuckle and a little portion of my hand. Called a ray amputation, where they take a slice off your hand because the tissue damage was so bad. Yeah, so it's life-changing injuries.
Yeah. It's an extraordinary thing. The cyclist mounted the pavement.
Yeah.
It was a one-way street.
Yeah.
Going down
He was the
wrong hometown.
Yeah.
You know, we know
hometown. So you two were on the pavement. You were where you should be. He mounted the pavement.
Yeah.
Hits the two of you.
There was no warning. So no sound, no
Didn't
get out
shout.
of the way, no move, no nothing. It was just we were
plowed
just
into
hit.
us.
And then got up and cycled off shouting at you and having a go.
Yes.
You know, fortunately, though, Sam, you filmed him as he was leaving.
I think as he started to gather his bike together and looked like he was leaving, that's when I instinctly took my phone out and recorded him.
I just don't know how she did it in that moment.
No, that was really quick thinking.
It was. And I think one of the things that, you know, is important to say is that not everybody has such a quick thinking friend with them to be able to record it.
Because the reality was that had you not had that footage, you would never have found him.
No, never
And,
found him.
and how did you track him down in the end?
That's Kate's husband.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure you won't mind me saying, but we got, I mean, obviously we reported it to the police. My husband screenshot a photo of him from the video footage and then literally walked around the streets and all of the pubs and restaurants saying,
do
does
you know
anybody
this man?
recognise him? Until a landlord at the pub said, yeah, he was in here all afternoon. So we then found out he was drunk as well. And then through the powers of social media, we're able to then say to the police, this is the guy. And then he was arrested.
Right.
But he wasn't arrested. I think it was probably about 10 or 12 months after the accident. So it was all delayed. But then that actually had an impact when it went to court, because initially he said he wasn't guilty, which, kind of prolonged the whole process for us, because we had to go to court, childcare arrangements, time off work, etc., to then walk through the doors, and the barrister says, no, he's changed his plea to guilty. And then the next time we went for sentencing, so then we had to see him, and we, had to give our sort of personal statements. And I think it's important to say, the judge was brilliant, but he was confined by the law.
There wasn't enough in place to essentially convict this man?
So the law currently, so wanton and furious cycling dates back to, I think it's 1861.
Wow.
And it's an offence if you use a bike or a horse or cart. So that's how old it is, Victorian. Yeah. So it's always going to carry a maximum of 2 years custodial sentence. But of course, because he pleaded guilty, he got a 10% reduction. As soon as you're under 2 years, you're entitled to a suspended sentence. So he was never going to go to jail.
Did he show any sort of remorse?
No.
None whatsoever. So he's irrevocably changed your life. You've lost a limb because of him. He was drunk, he mounted the curb, he hit you, he's been found guilty. And at no point has he shown any remorse?
No. And probably important to say as well, I've had a lot of personal expense because of the accident, and not had any
compensation
expense.
Or no?
No. So because obviously he's a cyclist, he's not insured, that there isn't anybody to sue. I've had, haven't had anything from criminal injuries either. So, I had to have my teeth repaired and, I've had...
And the journey for physio and things like that, that's extensive amount of
because I had to go to a specialist hospital in Merseyside, Whiston Hospital. They were fabulous. But, so that's...
Obviously, these are all the treatments you've had as well, but how has it affected you on a day-to-day basis, both mentally and physically? How's it affected you?
Well, I think... it has taken its toll, obviously. I've had 3 surgeries and lots of treatments. And I think the practicalities, I talk about a finger, but it's actually my hand. I haven't been able to use my hand, for a long time. It's had wires in it, it's had splints. So, just simple things, washing hair, looking after my daughter, driving, I haven't been able to do. So, when the consultant said, we're not going to be able to improve this, I think we need to amputate it, it was actually quite an easy decision then because I was so tired of not being able to use my hand. So since the surgery, it's been okay.
But the difference in your life is significant. And I think, Sam, that I know Ian Duncan Smith has been trying to champion the change in the law. The Tories were going to bring in a new law, but then, of course, the election got called. We now have a new government. What are you calling on the new government to look at? What would you like to see? What is it you think is going to be important now? Because that statistic, about 40% of rush hour traffic is made up by cyclists, and the vast majority of cyclists are law-abiding and do it very carefully, and we really need to say that. For those ones...
we don't want to bash cyclists, obviously it's amazing for the environment and people should be encouraged to cycle, but ultimately, pedestrians do need to be protected, and they've got...
And the law needs to catch up.
And
so
anybody
what needs
who
to
uses
happen
the road.
then?
Well, I think in an ideal world, I think that dangerous cycling law that Sir Ian Duncan Smith was trying to get that amendment to the Criminal Justice Bill kind of needs to go back on the agenda. And then any kind of injury that's caused through reckless cycling can then, obviously the offence can be, suited to the.
It needs to be more penal. It needs to be more.
There needs to be a deterrent.
Yeah,
absolutely. But then I think as well, if it was mandatory to have insurance, then we'd be able to track cyclists. We'd also, victims. I was lucky enough that I was able to pay for my own treatments, but that there would be some sort of cost or expenses covered for victims as well.
We've had a massive increase in electric bikes as well, of course, that go significantly faster. I mean, you were hit by a pedal bike, but electric bikes can go significantly faster as well.
I think it's important to say as well that if had that been a small child or an elderly person, which it could have been because it was early evening, had it been a small child or
we could have been out with our kids,
they potentially would have been killed in that accident. And then there just needs to be more there in place, to actually compensate and look after and actually, address the actual accident itself. And
I think thirdly, though, we do, I think, as a slight societal change as well in normalising people drinking and going on push bikes, because it is really dangerous. And in the same way that, we don't tolerate people drinking and driving, it should be the same. You know, we live in quite a rural area and perhaps it is accepted more and it shouldn't be.
No,
you know, and I think that's down to, you know, communities, local communities as well.
Yeah, definitely time for the laws to catch up.
If the laws do catch up, then I think that will change as well, won't it? Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
And sharing your
Pleasure.
story.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We'd love to know what you think about that as well. Get in touch. Maybe you've got experience of it. Maybe you're a cyclist and you can understand exactly what the girls are saying. I mean, the idea of insuring bicycles is going to be complicated and difficult.
Yes,
you know, trying to get that. But I think lots of fear about these electric bikes. We're seeing more sort of issues with those and the speed that they go. Undoubtedly, there's some sort of real fear.
For sure.
They can do real harm. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, ladies. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning. Among the documentary's worldwide audience was the man at its centre.
Yeah, Jonathan Meyer is the man with 1,000 children, except he said he's not. And the title is just one of the many things about the documentary that he says are untrue.
Jonathan is here now to tell his side of the story. Good morning, Jonathan.
Morning.
Lovely to be here.
Very
Thank
nice to meet you. So can you tell me how your sperm donation story started? It was with a friend, right, who was suffering with infertility?
Yeah, I was in college and I befriended this friend and we were studying together. I studied to become a social science teacher. And he explained to me that he discovered in that time that he was infertile.
Right.
And he was talking about the possibilities like adoption, foster, to become a foster parent, and sperm donation. And the latter I investigated more because I never heard about it. I found it fascinating that people can help families in that way.
And how old were you then?
22, something.
So early 20s is when you first started looking into it. And then you found a sperm donation clinic in Holland.
Yeah, that's right.
And what happened then? You contacted them and they sort of welcomed you in and said, let's explain a little bit more about the process?
Yeah, I took 1 year to really think it's all over. And it's a big impact on your own life, first of all. After this year, I said, OK, I still feel positive about helping. And I contacted the clinic and they were very happy. They welcomed me and they said, well, please come by and we'll do a test. And I passed the test and I could become a donor. That's quite easy in that regard.
And what was it about it that made you want to get involved?
Well, first of all, I am from a big family myself.
Right.
I have 7 siblings. And I love that I've come from a big family. It's a blessing. I'm the 4th child, so I felt always blessed that my parents decided to have more offspring, because otherwise I wouldn't be here. So I also saw, like that friend, but also other families in our church, that they were struggling to have a family at all. I knew that with the huge demand in donors that I could help them, help families.
Yeah, so once you realise and the clinic have said to you, look, you're fertile, your sperm would be very welcome and viable, then that's quite an exciting moment as well. So when you've started making these donations initially at the clinic, what was that experience like? And when did you, and also, Jonathan, when did you find out that not only were you making these deposits, but also the deposits had then led to creating children down the way?
Okay, yeah, they will inform you if you want. So after like 6 months, I could find out, and they said you have already 5 children conceived with your sperm. So
after 6 months.
Yeah, I think, or maybe 7 months or something, because it goes like 6 months in like a container, and then they do another test and a test.
So clearly you've got sort of very, as Kat was saying, very viable sperm, because that's in that short space of time. Suddenly realising that you had allowed these families to have 5 children in that short space of time, what was that like for you emotionally? How did you feel about that?
Well, the thing that struck me was that I found out that I became a biological father.
Yeah.
That I directed my own life in that regard. I never, when I was a little boy, I would never think that would be the first time I would be a biological father. I would always imagine it with a wife and children. Yeah. So that was something that I had to process.
Right.
Yeah.
So it initially started with one clinic. Then how many other clinics did you join?
In total there were like 6 sperm banks.
Right.
And there are 5 like hospitals where I only went once. So they say 11 clinics, but that's not correct. It's like 6 sperm banks, and then spread out over the country of the Netherlands.
And then you decided that you were also going to do it privately as well and offer a service privately where you would get in contact with women that wanted babies directly.
Yeah.
Why did you choose to do that?
Well, at first, the clinic, it was great. It was security for me. It was safe.
Yeah.
It was all in controlled manner. You will just deliver the sperm and they would hand it out to what womb it needs. But I felt like I felt at ease at that moment. I was like, okay, maybe I can also see myself like a private donor. I was missing sort of like the human contact, like meeting people and maybe getting some updates about the child. And I think at the time I was ready for it. I said, okay, I could also be a known donor plus. So it means that you are with the recipients in contact from the moment you meet them.
So the child will know who their father is and you can be in touch and get updates. Yeah. Interestingly, one of the allegations in the documentary is that you met a lot of these women as a private donor and they asked you how many times you had donated or how many children, and you only ever said 3 or 4. And in fact, even by then, you had fathered a lot more children. Why did you lie to those women when you were meeting them privately about how often you'd done this?
First I was fully open. I shared everything with any recipient that I would meet, like the amount of children that I've helped, my home address, everything.
So you disagree with what they... Because there's some of the women said, we sat down with him and he said he'd only ever donated 3 times and they were led to believe that you hadn't fathered that many children.
Well, no. So first I was fully open, but later, when I got in some trouble with recipients that I would meet, because you meet a lot of different people, and not all have like. Some people are just, you don't want to help them.
Okay.
They get upset and they will do things that are very unpleasant. So I found out by experience that to be fully open is very dangerous to me because I'm a private donor. So I have no lawyers supporting me. I have no money in the bank that can help me if there's some trouble. Of course, in an ideal world, I will be fully open always. But for my own safety, I had to limit it.
Do you understand then why, if you're saying that you were doing it to protect yourself, but you were lying to these women, do you understand why they now feel victimised by that lie, but they feel like they were completely misled, as special as it is having a baby and a family that they always wanted, in the circumstances with which you have told them about yourself weren't true? Do you understand why they say they're victimised by you?
No. First of all, they wouldn't get this exclusivity or a number from a clinic. So if they would go to any clinic, they will not share how often the donor is being used. So,
but there are laws, though, in place with the clinics, though, correct?
In theory, yeah.
Because... because here in the UK, it's kind of 10 families, you can have as many children, and each individual country has different laws.
In the UK, it's like 10 families, but then the same donor, if people use, for example, a international clinic, will ship worldwide. So really? I am no exception. I'm not. That's why I'm so surprised about the movie. They really try to make appear that I have 550 children, is the correct number. So they make it more exaggerated, and then they pretend that I am very unique. But this is not unique. All the people that use a donor from an international clinic have hundreds of siblings. That is a fact.
So the documentary is called The Man with 1,000 Children, but you maintain that it's how many?
550.
Do you think that's okay? Do you think that's all right, having 550 children?
Yeah, because it's common practice. It's not anything for a donor. Of course, as a father, like if you have like 600 wives and then like 1,000 children, of course it's something different. But as a donor, and you spread it worldwide, it's over the whole globe. So, like I say, it's common practice. And this is something people have to realize, that they think it's something exceptional or unique, but it's not.
Okay.
And if they feel so strongly about it, they should register for a clinic. But because they're happy to have more donors. And then the numbers can go down per donor. Then they wouldn't need donors like me that help in a larger time. Yeah.
We have a right of reply from Netflix here. They say, we stand by this documentary and the subjects covered. Jonathan was approached to be a part of the series but declined. We also requested a right of reply from him, but again, he declined to comment. Why did you decide to not comment?
Yeah, they asked me and they were very vague at first, so they wouldn't say it was Netflix. And then finally they would say it will be a 3-part series for Netflix, and I declined because to me, Hollywood, music industry, Netflix, they're not really, for me personally, they're not very good parties.
Having watched it, do you wish you had been involved and you'd been able to sit and answer the questions from some of those mothers and those families that feel like you have sort of had a detrimental effect on their lives?
No, I was very happy that I didn't participate, 100%, because now I can share on my YouTube, Jonathan Jacob Meijer, I can share my story and I debunk also the lies that they share in the
One of the things
film.
that comes across, Jonathan, is that you have this YouTube channel and you're a very confident person. You clearly enjoy being the focus of your YouTube and sharing your stories and sharing who you are. One of the accusations is also that you have a bit of a God complex. You like the power. You like the fact that you have all these children all around the world now. Because globally, I think you went all over the world and you've been involved in this elsewhere. What do you say to people who say that that is really irresponsible? Because there is a real concern, and this is addressed in the documentary, that the genetic concern is with you fathering so many children, some of those children could come in contact without realising that they are related in the future. And there are all sorts of issues with that happening, and they could start a relationship not knowing that they share the same father.
Well, again, I have to debunk that, and that's what I do on my YouTube. It's not about me, it's about, I have a diary, so it's more like my thoughts, I share my thoughts. And one of the things that I share, for example, is that because I'm a known donor plus, I chose the most open identity. The concerns that people have with inbreeding are real when the donor is fully anonymous. But with my form of sperm donation, the children can, with one question, and it shows in the movie, because I don't call it a documentary because it's very low quality for that. But in the movie, you can see also that one lady, she would find out that there were 3 other families in her city.
That puts the responsibility on the child. Like, so once the child has grown up, if a girl or a boy meets a partner, they have to say, oh, is your father, was he a sperm donor? And then that responsibility sits with those children, which could happen decades down the line. You think that's okay? They should have to find out what the heritage of their future partner is.
That's part of any donor child. It has nothing to do specifically with me. And as I already told I'm no exception.
Yeah.
This is common practice for the sperm clinic. So it's part of donorship. And luckily, the parents are very careful with that. They will instruct the children from an early age. Be aware, just like adopted children, there's a story behind why you're in this family and you need to take it in concern. And for what I've seen, my donor children, I'm with many also in contact on daily basis, and they enjoy meeting their siblings and they go out in groups do holidays and great things,
Would you like to have your own children with the family one day?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you will do at some point, you'll have some that you'll be a full-time father?
Yeah, that's also why I stopped in 2019, because I felt that I was constantly helping others and traveling, and I sort of forgot my own ones. I really love to have...
There's enough of your sperm out there already. You need to focus on yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I helped the demand for other people, and now it's time to listen to my own demands.
It's fascinating to meet you, Jonathan.
Yeah, I think everything needs to catch up a little bit in terms of laws and protecting innocent people.
It'll be interesting. I mean, the documentary is on Netflix right now, and you can sort of make your own mind up, having heard Jonathan's perspective and also the perspective of some of those mums, because they certainly feel very victimised by the experience that they've had. But it's been interesting to talk to you this morning.
Thank you very much
Lovely
for coming
to be
in.
here.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.
We've been looking forward to this, haven't we, Baba?
Yeah.
Now, our next guest has been having the ultimate brat summer. She has been partying it up and popping bottles in Ibiza, proving age is just a number. Great-grandmother Margaret caused a storm online after she was seen hitting the dance floor alongside her grandchildren on the Spanish party island a couple of weeks ago.
Well, Margaret and her granddaughter Zoe are here to tell us a little bit more. But first, let's take a look at this party animal in action. Whoop, whoop. I'm going to put my glasses on. going to get down an Ibiza. Yes! Oh, Margaret, honestly, it's just an absolute pleasure watching you. Look at her. Look at her. She's up for a laugh, isn't she?
So, have you always loved dancing, Margaret?
Yeah, yes.
So always through the years, like when you were a teenager and
just-
stuff, you used to dance and...
Well, yeah. Keep myself busy and all the time. But put the music on and then dance with the music.
Hey, the first thing we've noticed, you've got good knees, haven't you?
Oh, yes.
You're jumping up and down. Those knees are really good knees.
I know. I'm jumping up and down with you.
So, Margaret, were you expecting to go viral? Do you even know what viral means? I mean, is it? Yeah. I mean, what was it like when you saw the clip going out on all the computers and the phones and the social media? Has it been crazy?
It was amazing. I didn't expect it.
No.
I really didn't, because I blame Wayne for this.
I blame him as well. I blame him. You've only just started travelling, haven't you, Margaret?
That's right,
When was it?
yeah.
It's 8 years ago you started. You went. Where did you go?
We went to Thailand.
Yes.
The first holiday.
How come you've never travelled before? Why did you wait until you were 76?
Well, I had 6 children and I had them to bring up and all that, you know. So it's hard work, and I had to work myself as well.
So you've been working all your life. You've got your
Yes,
passport. You started travelling 8 years ago. No looking back.
And that's the first holiday abroad with Zoe and Mark. Yes.
So Zoe, give us some background to this. So, not many people take their grands on holiday with them. So, where do we start?
Right, so Thailand, we want to take her to Thailand because we were going for Christmas, weren't we?
Yes.
And she's just so fun.
Yeah.
You know, she's just so fun.
Everyone wants to be around her, don't they? What was it like in Ibiza? Because I heard that all the young women, they wanted to take photos with her.
It was... It was crazy. So we went to Ocean Beach, and you know when you take pictures of all the gorgeous girls?
Yes.
Oh, no, they were coming over. Nana, can I have a selfie?
And so it's a story that you went out one night and you didn't take her, and she was so livid.
Oh, she was fuming. So we were going to...
You got upset because you didn't go out?
Oh, yes.
We were going to Ushuaia, and I thought, I can't take my Nana to Ushuaia. I just can't take her. So I said to her, look, Nana, you'll have to stay in the villa. We're going to Ushuaia. Well, I'm coming. I said, you can't. And I didn't take her, and she was fuming.
So the next day...
But on the last day, on the Sunday, I said to Mark, do you know what? I don't want to have no regrets. Let's take her to Ushuaia, because she loved it at Ocean and she got so much attention.
Yeah.
Took her to Ushuaia, the same. She was stood in the middle dancing. Everyone's like, Nana.
Oh, I love it. And you knew that she was going to capture the hearts of the nation, because she's been a star all your life, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's my everything.
So when Margaret started dancing at Ocean Beach, was did sort of like the crowd sort of start to form, or like what were you thinking?
Could you see all eyes like?
Is that champagne there?
Yeah.
You're just chucking it around.
Yeah.
You look like one of the young ones. You do. You look incredible.
Well, do you know we used to stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning drinking?
You didn't.
We did.
Oh my goodness.
And you know, honestly, we in Thailand, I was on a motorbike.
Yeah.
And Zoe and Mark and Layla, they were in a taxi behind, and I had this big helmet on. I looked like somebody out of space.
Yeah.
And I kept going like this to keep it on.
And do you think you're inspiring other older people now to live their life to the fullest?
Well, while we're on the other one, Ibiza.
Yeah.
There's a bloke on his motorbike, and he's coming up our path, and I said to him, you can't go up here, this is our apartment. He says, no, I live there, and it's like a side door where you could go, and I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I says, oh, well, excuse me. So I got on his motorbike. He drove me up, and then I said, I want to go to your door. So he took me up into his door.
Yeah.
And he says, you can't get off yet because the exhaust was hot.
Yeah.
You know?
So what happened?
His wife came out and she got a stool, put it down, and she helped me off.
Do that, otherwise you're burning yourself. Well, listen, let's speak to the architect of all of this.
After the
reason it went viral. We've got Wayne Lineker right now with us, who's down the line, I think, from Dubai. Wayne,
how are we doing, guys?
How's it going? Thanks
Morning,
for joining
Wayne.
us.
Oh,
Wayne,
so good to see
when
you.
did you first notice Margaret partying like a rock star?
Well, I was on my table, which is about 2 beds away or tables away from Margaret's, and I saw everybody making a commotion, and I think it was their granddaughter or somebody came to my table and said, Margaret wants to meet you. And so I was over like a flash, and yeah, she was just so much fun, you know, so much energy. You know, there's a picture. She gave me a little kissing one as well.
Oh, love it. Look at her. You've got your leg up and everything. Tell me something, Wayne. Do you think you're going to get more older people coming to Ocean Beach now?
Yeah, I mean, I've got to be honest, I've never seen somebody as 86 years old with the energy that Margaret's got.
Yeah.
She's certainly got more than me, and I'm 62, so let's see. But I think it's a great inspiration for older people to realise that they can still enjoy themselves at an older age, yeah.
Oh, well, thank you for joining us. Enjoy your time in Dubai, darling.
Bye.
See you later.
Right, Margaret, don't forget WhatsApp me, babe.
Don't forget me coming next year.
I'll be waiting for you, babe.
Yeah. Put her on the VIP list, Babs.
Yeah. Come on my table next year.
Oh, thank you.
See you
Bye.
Bye.
Well,
so it's like, how is this happening?
Oh, Margaret, honestly. I mean, you've got friends in high places now, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean,
they were marvellous. Oh, honest to God.
Did they look after you?
They did.
Oh, fantastic.
They were marvellous.
Hey, listen, where do you want to go next?
I don't know. Wherever Zoe takes me.
Yeah.
Well, Margaret...
Zoe, I only go when Zoe goes on holiday.
Yeah. Zoe and Margaret, all morning, we've been saying that we're reclaiming Freaky Friday as a lucky day. And today, it's about to get very lucky for you.
Thank you.
Well, listen, you are going to the ultimate party destination. Our good friends at Virgin Atlantic and Virgin Hotels Las Vegas are flying you both to Sin City for a 3-night holiday so you two can party to your heart's content.
You're going to Vegas, Bob! You're going to Dermot's coming!
Thanks for going, Margaret.
Oh, I love you. I love you. You're so lovely. Oh, congratulations, babe. Do you know what? You are just a beautiful woman. You really are. Listen, it's competition time now. Thank you, guys. You're off to Vegas. It's competition. And thank you to our lovely friends at Virgin for doing that. So lovely. And thank you for including me and Dermot as well. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Just wanted to say thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now, listen, we upload new content every day. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.
Now, today's National Dementia Carers Day, recognising the challenges faced on a daily basis by the incredible people caring for those living with dementia.
And our next guest knows what a huge toll this can take. 10 years ago, Graham Sutherland's life changed forever when his mum, Linda, was diagnosed with the early onset of Alzheimer's disease at just 59, so young.
Well, Graham has since helped countless others by sharing his experience of caring for his mum on social media.
She was diagnosed just before she was 60 with late-stage Alzheimer's, but it was early onset. My mum doesn't go on way up most of the time.
What about this here?
In the past 3 years, that she's declined a lot more. Now she's wheelchair-bound, can hardly say any words, and requires assistance eating and drinking it most of the times.
How are you doing? We sing some songs. Have a good time?
Yes.
That was a clear stop here to speak. Right, let's get singing, right?
It is going to get worse. She'll stop being able to eat and swallow at one point, and she'll stop speaking completely, which is very difficult to think about. Life can change very quickly, so make the most of it.
Oh, Graham Sutherland joins us now. Graham, thank you for joining us this morning. They're extraordinary videos to watch. If you haven't watched, I'd urge you, I'm sure Kat will, to find Graham's TikToks to get an amazingly honest, searingly honest insight into what it is to have to care for somebody who has suddenly got such a cruel condition. What made you want to start recording them and sharing them?
It happened by accident. So during lockdown, like most people, I
was doing stupid videos on TikTok, but then I just happened to video my mum one of the days, asking if she knew who my dad was, and she remembered his name, and I just uploaded that and had a huge reaction from it, and thought there's something here. Because of the age of her, a lot of people were quite shocked that she actually had Alzheimer's, so I thought this could actually help a lot.
There's a bit of a myth, isn't there, that Alzheimer's dementia only affects older people.
Yeah.
She just certainly wasn't old at the time.
Definitely not.
When did your mum first start showing signs?
So she was 59 when she was diagnosed, but my dad passed away a couple of years prior, quite suddenly, with a brain tumour.
Okay.
So she was diagnosed with depression, which we thought was normal.
And how long was that before she was 59? What age was she at the time?
When my dad passed away?
Yeah.
About 57, 56, 57.
Wow, that's so young, yeah.
So those couple of years, she had depression, it wasn't getting any better.
Right.
And we were questioning what's actually going on here. And her personality started changing. She was quieter, she was losing a lot of weight, but they are signs of depression. So it wasn't until I took her to London to the Harry Potter studios. She started spraying deodorant in her shoes and was crying, trying to take a picture on a camera, didn't know how to press a button and didn't know how to put a seatbelt on. That's when we knew something was a bit more sinister here, and we went to get her checked.
So we're looking at a little bit of footage. I mean, you took a bit of footage. There's amazing moments within the Harry Potter at Leavesden where you can experience things like picking up the broomstick. And imagine that would have been, if she was confused anyway, that would have made no sense to her.
That's why I couldn't understand why she wasn't able to do that. That video that you've seen, that's when I was questioning why can't she understand such a simple task.
What's it like what was it like when you and your sister got the diagnosis, though, and how did your mum cope with that?
It was really hard to hear the words. It's not something you expect. I didn't know anything about it, so we were really broken by it. My sister kind of broke the news to her, and I think my mum knew because she was very upset, but I think she was relieved that somebody else knew because she'd been hiding it that whole time.
I was about to say, my nan had the same thing, and she hid it for so long because she didn't want... It was almost like she didn't want to believe it herself.
Once everyone else knows it's true, so it's that denial thing,
Yes, absolutely. And then you and your sister basically became full-time carers for her?
Yep, my sister was a nurse, so she worked night shift and I worked during the day, and we swapped over.
And what was that like for you? What was the general day-to-day?
Just making her food, getting her drinks, because she stopped being able to eat properly herself, and medication. My sister would do the personal care before we get the carers in, things like that, and just making sure she's safe at all times because she can get up and move about the house and get a bit confused.
Yes. Yeah.
She's had to go into a care home now, which I know you and your sister say is undoubtedly been brilliant for her and for you as well to recharge. How is she and how are you both doing?
She's doing amazing in there. We are starting to get a bit of a life back because we can switch off a bit now, whereas before it was a 24/7, could not stop thinking about her, what she was doing, even sleeping, wake up. But she's doing amazing for having Alzheimer's. She is going to get worse, but it's been great there. So we did our research thoroughly before we put her into that care home.
What was so interesting to Ben and I when we were looking on the TikTok was some of the aspects of someone having that disease that you kind of don't almost think of. Like there's one TikTok that you posted where you talk about her friends don't come and visit her and they don't, and it's sometimes because people can't deal with what's right in front of them, and you feel like that's a really important thing to change.
Yeah, I do understand it can be uncomfortable for them.
Yeah.
And that they might not want to see the person she is now, might want to remember her for who she was. But it would mean a lot to her and to us if more people visited. But I guess it's just their way of dealing with it as well.
So what would be your advice, though, Graham, because you and your sister are living this, for anybody out there who may be sort of going through something similar or nervous about the scenario that they find themselves in with somebody in the family who has Alzheimer's or early onset?
I would definitely do your research because Alzheimer's is quite complex and there's lots of different types of dementia you can get. And definitely make memories. That's the best thing to do. What I've been doing, I've been making so many memories with her. Because there is a happy time in it, even though it's very sad, you can make happy times. And power of attorney is something to get straight away because that can be very difficult further down the line.
Well, look, thank you for joining us today. The TikToks are extraordinary. It's incredibly honest and generous of you to share that journey and offer comfort to lots of people, I'm sure, that are going through a similar thing.
For sure, there'll so much comfort from it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for
Oh,
being
hello. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning. Now, it was the big story which came out of the NTAs last night. ITV drama, Mr Bates versus the Post Office, quite rightly swept the night, taking home 3 of the big awards.
As we know, the drama had a huge impact on the struggles faced by hundreds of postal workers. But when former sub-postmaster Jo Hamilton took to the stage last night, she revealed there's lots more work to be done.
I want to say thank you to all my colleagues who are behind me, who, without strength in numbers, we wouldn't have got to where we are. And the public got behind us and changed, literally changed everything. I went to Westminster a couple of weeks back and saw the new minister, and trust me, nothing has changed. And almost all of these people behind me haven't been paid yet, including Sir Alan Bates. So when he comes back to the nation for help, please be there to support him.
Wow, what an incredible... Jo, I have to take my hat off to you. You were so eloquent and everybody in that room was behind you. You did the most amazing job up there.
Well, when you listen back, you think, ooh, did I do that?
You really did do that.
Oh, you did do that.
Yeah,
Live in front of 15,000 people there and millions watching at home, Jo. And I think one of the things, and obviously we were thrilled that Mr Bates versus the Post Office did so well last night and was recognised for what it managed to do. And the point of the drama that was so exciting at the time, I'm sure from your perspective, was there seemed to be a real push for change. The government had seen what had happened, the government at the time, Rishi Sunak stood up and said, we will look after you, we'll exonerate those that were given prison sentences, and we will pay out this compensation. And it wasn't until you spoke last night so brilliantly and eloquently, it became apparent that that just hasn't been happening.
No, it hasn't happened. The government keep pushing out. We've paid out £230 million. They push out huge numbers and they blind the public, really. But the fact of the matter is the bulk of our group that fought, and we've been together since 2009, we went through the High Court and won in 2 big trials in 2019. That's 5 years ago, and we've still not been paid. You know, I settled at 80% because it took 3 years, must have cost more than they ever paid me to actually get 80% of my claim.
That is one of the extraordinary things. You were saying that they've said that they've settled £230 million, but your estimates on how much they've spent fighting these claims is how much?
Well, there was a Freedom of Information request which ended in March, so it will be much higher than that. But they've spent £260 million paying out £230 million. I mean, really?
Extraordinary.
You know, why they can't simplify everything and just get people paid, I don't know.
Well, I think that was one of the frustrations, actually, that came across so brilliantly in your speech, was that it's like nothing has been done. The same thing has just happened. What would you like to see happen?
Well, I mean, the ministers come and go. We've had lots of ministers. But the guys behind the scene in the departments, they've been there throughout all of this, and we've seen the shenanigans that's been going on at the inquiry, you know, and we're dealing with the same people. It's almost like the fox is in charge of the hen house. It's, you know, that's what we're up against.
So one of the last rulings you had was that everyone would have been paid by, am I right in saying July 2024?
August. In March 2022, they said all of us would be paid by August 2024. So then when it got close to August, they said, oh, we'll extend the deadline because we don't want a handful of people that might... Because apparently it's in law that we all had to be paid by then. So they extended the deadline to August 2025 and nobody's been paid. And that gave them another year to mess
So they extended their own deadline. How generous were they extending deadlines to you and the other fellow sub-postmasters when they were demanding payment of this money that had seemingly gone missing?
Yeah, I mean, we had to put it in by the morning. I mean,
so there was no extension of deadlines
regardless of the size of it, no extension.
So what is Alan Bates's plan that you mentioned there in the speech?
Well, he will go back to court and, you know, and take them on again, which is also
it shouldn't have to happen.
No.
You know, it will cost the government an absolute fortune, but we won't have to go to litigation funders this time because I'm sure the nation will get behind him and support him through court, or support the group through court.
Yeah.
Because he'll take everyone else being messed around. You know, because you saw the people there last night, and I think the oldest lady is 91, Betty. You know, I mean, for goodness sake, why can't they just, if a claim is reasonable, pay it? Why do they have to have all the I's dotted? Oh, they want reports, they want medical health reports. I mean, it's just...
You've been through it.
Yeah, they're making it as
Just give you the money that you've been waiting for and you deserve. So the new Post Office Minister, Gareth Thomas, you've met Gareth Thomas. Do you feel more hopeful that he's a new minister, it's a new government, that... No?
No, because he's actually not running the show. The department is. The Department of Business and Trade, the civil servants. They're in charge of the scheme. And they've just awarded their lawyers another £10 million contract to advise them going forward. I mean, they speak about 10 million, like we speak about a tenner. It's like, 10 million. It's like, that's because it's not their money.
No.
It's our money.
Yes.
Jo, what hope do you have for this?
I have every hope in Alan, but it really shouldn't be necessary. You know, why we can't just all sort it out. Get rid of it, clear it off the books, you know, because we won't go away until we'd all shut up and go away if they just sort it.
Yeah.
My right of reply is over there on the desk if you need me to go and get it and read it out. Let me go and grab it. Excuse me, 2 seconds. No, you probably could have.
I bet
You'll know exactly what they've said.
they're going to say, right? And it's going to be all dressed up in language.
So this is what the government have said, the Department for Business, Trade and Spokesman. We recognise the immeasurable suffering postmasters have endured and they have waited too long to receive redress. That's why we're working tirelessly across the government to bring them some relief with full, fair and swift redress.
Swift.
We've already paid out 289 million.
Next year.
This is an interesting one to get your thoughts on. We've already paid out over £289 million to over 2,800 people across 4 redress schemes. We've also made 253 offers and introduced a new compensation scheme to speed up redress for those with overturned convictions. Those 253 offers, just explain the offer that Sir Alan Bates has received.
Well, his first offer came back at less than 15%.
15.15?
Yeah, and he refused it, and it went back, and they upped it to 30%. You know, I mean, for goodness sake.
30% of the compensation.
Trashed decades of your life.
Yes.
And they think they can get away.
4 people lost their lives.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something you get back.
And they'll hide behind the idea that they've made 253 offers, but when the offers are that derisory at 30%, of course they're going to get sent back.
And some of the offers in the historical shortfall scheme, they were unrepresented. They fell into the arms of Post Office, filled out forms, and they got peanuts back. And they can tick the box and say they've settled it.
Wow.
Jo, I'm so sorry that you're still having to battle. You've still got the public support. You heard that last night.
That's one thing for sure.
You heard it. I just want to... Were you able to enjoy the evening at all?
Oh, it was magical, really magical, including Ollie Mers, who stood behind us all and had a photograph because he thought we were the heroes.
You are the heroes.
Sure.
You absolutely are the heroes and you deserve to have that moment of recognition, and you will undoubtedly have this huge momentum of support going forward as well. We will be supporting you at every step of the way, Jo. You don't deserve to be treated like this. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming in. OK, let's talk to Nick now and let's see. Nick, how eloquent is Jo?
Well, what Jo and all the others need to know, Kat, is that we picked up on this because I was with you, as you know, last night, and I threw it open to the listeners. So, Jo, be in no doubt. The listeners are absolutely... They share your fury, the power of your speech. What you did brilliantly is you went from cheers to jeers, because everyone was cheering what you and your colleagues had achieved, and the actors as well, and everybody was cheering. And your timing was superb, because they were... And then suddenly you dropped the bombshell. I remind you of the numbers. 555 victims, more than 300 not had an offer. Sir Alan, 30%. And suddenly it dawned on the audience the treatment that you've been receiving, and that's when the jeers and the boos started. So if you take anything away, apart from the magical night, I'm sorry I didn't get to actually meet you. I spoke with one of your colleagues down in Cornwall, who you probably know well, Penny, who couldn't be with you, so she was on my show today, and the calls absolutely flooded in. So as Ben was saying, as Kat was saying, be in no doubt. The public are ready. If it takes Mr. Bates, Sir Alan versus the Post Office Part 2, we are all going to be here for you. Be in no doubt of that at all. So well done to you.
Thank you very much.
Well done, Jo.
Thank you, Jo. You can go and get some sleep now as well, because I know you had a lovely late night.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.